commission meeting here, some online, some in person. So again, just to please be aware of open mics and make sure that you're please control that mic. We'll try to do our best from here, but also need you to control from your end as well. Okay.
Roll call, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, let's do a roll call and then we'll jump in.
Commissioner Brenizer is present in the room. Commissioner DeBunda.
I'm online.
Commissioner Egloff.
I'm here.
Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Larry.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers is here in the room. Commissioner Ruddy's in the room. Commissioner Sweeney.
Present. Online here.
Everybody's present except Commissioner Jones.
Okay, thank you, Tom, and again, welcome all. I'll keep reminding throughout the meeting, please just keep your phone on mute or microphone on mute. Of course, when you speak, turn it on. And if to the commission members, if you're speaking, please identify yourself with the motion and a second, so we can record that. But just double check that the stenographer is not online with us. Okay, we are recording, so
yes, we are recording.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But we've got that. That's good. Thank you. Again, for the records, by way of notice, the commission did conduct an executive session this morning to engage in quasi-judicial deliberation to be adjudicated at the public meeting and engaged in attorney-client privilege communication. For the record, this also has been brought with sunshine as well. So, with that, let's move into the public meeting agenda. We have two meeting minutes to approve. We'll begin with the September 28th commission meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Commissioner Lawrence, so moved.
Commissioner Sweeney, second.
Mr. Chairman, this is Commissioner Ellis.
Yes.
I apologize, but I have two proposed amendments to the approval of September 28th, 2021 meeting minutes. And I know that the minutes are not a verbatim transcript, but only a summary of what was said. But on the discussion of what I said at that meeting, there are two things I want to change. One is there's a line, and I know this is on tape, so they can take it from there. There's a line that says, in addition, in October 2019, the commission updated and modernized its regulations. I think that's a great line. I wish I had said it, but I never said that. So I don't know where it came from. I went back and looked at my notes. So I'd like that deleted. And something I would like added, and I'll just read this paragraph. Because I know I did say this and nothing is mentioned about it. And that's as follows. The Philadelphia Inquirer, a city newspaper that too often forgets the agricultural economy of our great Commonwealth, seems to be on a mission to enforce racing, regardless of the loss of thousands of jobs, both direct and indirect, as well as the loss of valuable open space. I'd like that put back into the minutes. And with that, those would be the two amendments I would ask that be approved.
Would you be kind enough to email me that, Commissioner Ellis?
I would, sir.
Okay, Commissioner Ellis, so let me back up just to get the motion. Commissioner Clark, and I heard Commissioner DeBunda on the second. Discussion on the motion. We have several amendments. Commissioner Rogers.
Yeah, it was just pointed out that on page 6, it indicates the chairperson Cook announced the next meeting. It would have been Chairman Reddick who.
Yes, thank you. Any other corrections or amendments to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as amended by both Commissioner Rogers and Commissioner Ellis, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now to the approval of the minutes of the special budget meeting of September the 13th. We'll have a motion to approve those minutes, please.
Sweeney will make a motion.
Okay, Commissioner Sweeney, thank you. Commissioner
Second.
Rogers on the second. Any discussion of these minutes? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, to the presentations. Tracy, on the September financial report. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Secretary and Commissioners. Starting out with the racing fund balance as of September 30th, 2021. The beginning cash balance was $7,351,000. Total revenue was $1,920,000. Total expenditures was $1,065,000, bringing the ending cash balance to $8,206,000. Moving on to the Racehorse Commission, revenue and expenditures for the month of September. Revenue for the month was $945,000. Personnel expenditures were $419,000. Operating expenditures are negative $99,000, bringing total expenditures to $320,000. I'd like to circle back around just to point out, I just become aware that the detail behind the specialized services was not mailed out. That is a result of an adjustment being made for the property charges, which we had previously discussed. The total adjustment was for the 2021 year and the 21-22 charges. And the two adjustments were for $155,621 and $23,921. So that's why you're seeing the negative balance year to date. Any questions in regards to that?
Any questions for Tracy on that?
Okay, moving on to the racehorse testing, revenue and expenditures for the month of September. Revenue was $975,000. Personnel expenditures were $374,000. Operating was $348,000, bringing the total expenditures to $721,000. Pennsylvania Racehorse Promotion, there was your revenue for the month. Expenditures were $18,171. Year-to-date comparative financial statements, looking at September 30th, 2021 versus September 30th, 2020. There was a decrease in total revenue of 18%. There was a decrease in personnel of 15%. There was an increase in operating of 79%, bringing total expenditures to an increase of 16%. The largest component of the 79% operating increase is the UPenn. There were several invoices received during this state fiscal year than versus last year when only one had been received in the same time frame. And that accounts for almost the complete 79% increase. The remaining financial statements are on the restricted funds.
Yeah, Tracy, thank you. Questions for Tracy on the September financials? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second. As has been standard practice for the commission, each month in the fall, we bring organizations forward that have received grant money and they'll make a presentation, basically what happened last year and where they're going in the future. The MSOA is up here. I think Kim's got Jen and Donnell up. I can see Jen and I can see Donnell up at the top. I think they put up their presentation, and at this point, Jen, it's yours to run with.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Mealy, and I work with Donnell Mock with the Meadows Standardbred Owners Association. She is the marketing director. I'm a contracted helper, but feel very blessed to be one with the MSOA. They've become friends over the years, and we work very closely, and in particular had to really mobilize all of our talents and resources during COVID to continue to grow handles. So if it's okay with you, Donnell, I'll get started and then you can jump in.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we put together this report for you to let you know that we have been working to build the Watch and Wager brand as the cameras and the broadcasts of the races have become better and better. You know, we've been obviously capitalizing on people who aren't just at the track to watch and wager. The MSOA was an early adopter of in-app advertising, so we'll tell you a little bit about that. And over the last year, we allocated even more resources to targeting individuals in that in-app advertising. So these are individuals who are going on and they're betting football, they're betting baseball, and we are capitalizing on their propensity to bet by advertising in these online betting apps. And the tactics really did prove to be fruitful, particularly during the pandemic, as you would imagine, when there were no fans on the apron. So this year we're building out what we call a hybrid approach. So we definitely want to re-engage fans with the live events at the track while simultaneously tapping into some more of those remote resources. So I wanted to show you the in-app advertising here. So this would be FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool, just a couple of the apps that we're utilizing now. And that enables us, again, to attract individuals who already have a propensity to bet and convert them to horse racing. So far, in the calendar year 2021, we've had 1,000 individuals click on the ads like the one you see on the screen now and reach what we call the Bet Now section of meadowsharnessracing.com. So once they jump on there, we're really able to capture their information, we're able to continue to communicate with them and hopefully make some conversions there. The website really does continue to play a major role in boosting handle. Donnell, did you want to tell them about the idea that you had about the free programs and how well that's worked?
Yes, so beginning of the year, we decided to do free programs. So every live racing day, we put it up on our little tab on the website, race programs. So as soon as the programs are available on Trackmasters, we did the deal with. Our gamblers are able to log right on our website, which also gives them the options of our events. So when they're for a race program, they're seeing what we're having. And it's gone really well. We've had a ton of visitors. Adios Day, obviously that was a huge day for our program clicks. And we don't have those program pages up right away. I have gamblers texting me that they're waiting for the program pages. So that's something that we're looking into doing again in 2022 because it's been so successful.
And you can see the data that Donnell is speaking to, 15,000 visits logged on the website in the first 6 months after we began to place those free programs, and 14,000 of them were for the free race program. So clearly there's some benefit there, no doubt about it. The most exciting part for me is seeing that 5,000 of these visits were brand new individuals who had never visited meadowsharnessracing.com, which is great, and 1,500 of them actually converted to wagering. So, you know, in terms of trying to reach out to a broader audience, I mean, certainly this digital world is where we need to be, and we're certainly doing that. And I have to say the MSOA board, and particularly the marketing board, is you know, it's not comprised of a bunch of 20-somethings, as you might imagine. So they are learning and they are growing and they are understanding the value of that. But it's not to say that there shouldn't be a focus on in-person events. I put together some pictures here of what Donnell did with Pink Out. Donnell, do you want to take them through what Pink Out was?
Yes, so usually we go with Fair Final Day, but this year we moved it back to the rebranding of the Meadows. So now it's Hollywood North Meadows. So we did our peak out on October 15th. We had a ton of fans on the apron, and I know our handle didn't necessarily show that, but we had a lot of new fans. We did our first ever corgi races, so we had 20 corgis come out and race in 3 different races and then a final. And then, we had our police car on the apron, our outrider dressed up. It was also a family fun night with a balloon artist. We had a DJ and then Chinese auction to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So, we had a ton of people out there. We raised a good amount of money for the American Cancer Society, and people got to hang out on the apron and be exposed to horse racing. So it was a good day event-wise. We had good weather and everything.
So as you can imagine, corgis have a unique set of owners, and if you're able to see the screen right now, and you look up on the screen, and again, you see the average age of these individuals who attended a race, probably many of them for the first time coming to the racetrack. You can see how young these individuals are. And when you go down to the actual data that comes back, so we had the idea, we know that a corgi race bring people to the racetrack, but not only did they have the basket raffle and the corgi races, but the harness racing, the key here was converting these people to bettors. And the racing fields were small. We do not have Wi-Fi available on the apron for mobile betting. There's a lack of manpower that is able to convert these new visitors to wagers. And so they end up gravitating to sports betting. And so, that's where we're weak, and we know that we need to get stronger is that conversion. All these new people on the racetrack, but you need an army of individuals to try to educate them and convert them. And without Wi-Fi, that continues to cripple us. So we'll continue to work with the casino to do that. Donnell, you want to tell them a little bit about the adios?
Yeah, the adios this year. Last year during COVID was when we first tried this live broadcast. This year we partnered with the casino, so we were all one broadcast together, which I thought was great. So it's Jeff Siddick doing the Meadow side, and then Gabe Pruitt came in for the day, and myself, and we hosted from the paddock. We did interviews from the paddock, some behind the scenes stuff, and then Jen put together a bunch of great packages that we're still using on our social media about horse racing aftercare, the economic impact, things like that. So it was a great day for adios. We had 16 races, I think, and we filled 5 hours of live stream with different things and education about horse racing and betting. And again, we did 3 programs, and we had the how to bet and where to bet on our website as well, and kept pushing them to our website throughout the day.
So let's take a look now at the chart below. So you can take a look at handle as we compare handle to a pre-pandemic normal adios in 2019 to a post-pandemic hybrid adios, where we placed extensive resources on remote sources of wagering. So we really used that grant money to ramp up our in-app advertising with the sports betting websites. We used that live stream on Facebook and YouTube, reaching 50,000 fans all over the world. And look at what it did to handle. Now you can see the circle in red. Take a look at this. So 804,000 was the remote source handle back in 2019 in a pre-pandemic world. In a post-pandemic world where we're using this hybrid approach and we're really pushing to the remote sources, you see handle upwards of $920,000. So that's a 15% increase, up $118,000. And I'll tell you what, it saved the overall handle of the day. Look at it. I mean, you can see the difference in on track. You can see that, and there's only so long that you can sustain that unless you branch out to other resources. So I thought maybe that graph would be a little helpful for you to understand how the investment that you're providing for the MSOA very much offsets the on-track decreases. Finally today, the out-of-home advertising that we work with. Out-of-home, as you know, is anything consumers see outside their home, benches, buses, billboards, or the traditional form of out-of-home advertising. So the MSOA runs out-of-home advertising, transit advertising all throughout Western Pennsylvania. You'd be hard-pressed to go anywhere in Western PA and not see one of their buses somewhere. New creative, you can see that they just placed in 2020 is a watch and wager online brand, and so you can see we use that harness your luck and that is all over Western Pennsylvania throughout the Pittsburgh region. And you know, the data really supports this decision. Consumers are almost 50% more likely to click on one of the digital ads that the MSOA is running if they're seeing out of home first, so they're getting used to that brand and seeing that. Wanted to close about the partnerships. I always do have to mention that the PHRA, Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association, does continue to grow the fan base for horse racing in our area. Ashley and Pete and the team really are very supportive of our live stream audio show. Brought the virtual reality harness racing machine to the event, and we do believe we benefit from the digital and social content. And we're working with them to, get more traffic from their website to ours. I mean, we're happy people are visiting their website, but now we want to, move them over to ours, and they're very supportive of that. And, I would say, just from an outsider's perspective, the biggest assistance that we could get from the PHRA is that conversion. We just don't have an army of people to convert new visitors to wagers. Donnell, anything to add about the partnership with the PHRA?
No, they're always supportive, and Ashley and Seth both came out on Adios Day, so that was great, and we got to do some interviews with them, so it's always great when they come out to the track and help out in any way they can.
As Donnell mentioned, the leadership team has changed, and the casino has rebranded out of Western PA. It is now Hollywood Casino at the Meadows. Very responsive and engaged about the participation of the track events and the marketing efforts. We've developed a really good system because we're using their logo in a lot of their marketing and a lot of their terminology. I would say they turn around approvals on our radio and TV commercials within hours, which is wonderful, especially when you're trafficking, dozens of ads a week for an organization. So we appreciate that. The new sports betting venue is there. It is. And it is going to be a force in Western Pennsylvania, no doubt about it. So I think we need to make sure that we're visible in that sports betting venue to make sure that we can pull some business down there. And also we need to work with them on fortifying that trackside Wi-Fi, because the mobile app wagering is the future. Donnell, anything to add on that?
Nope, we've been really great with the new Hollywood Casino team, and we continue to form that partnership and keep working together to help harness racing.
Happy to take any questions from anyone.
I need a spelling of your names, please, excuse me.
Sure. Jennifer is Jennifer. Mealy is M as in Mary, I-E, L as in Lisa, E.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then mine's Donnell, Dawnnelle, and then Mock, Mock.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Questions for MSOA? Jennifer?
This is Commissioner Ellis. I don't have a question, I just have a comment. As a corgi owner, this is my corgi. We all great.
And I bet you love the young comment too, right? So it's always
Yeah, well, neither Teddy or I are very young.
No, you are.
Racing legends are behind it.
But being a corgi owner, then, do you see the value of pulling this sort of niche ownership over and into a race setting for the first time, right? You understand that she really had a brilliant idea with that.
Oh yeah, because it's a close-knit community, and we all love everybody else's corgis.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the corgis. I actually love them. After that, I have to.
Mr. Ellis, I'll just assume that dog is licensed.
Absolutely.
Good. Other questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
Scott
please.
Lisha, Director of Racing here at the Meadows. Again, the name is Scott, last name Lisha, L-I-S as in Sam, H-I-A. I just wanted to comment on a few things that both Jennifer and Donnell brought up, and first start saying by, although my tenure here has been relatively short, I find working with the MSOA and the individuals there a very positive thing. They do a lot for Standardbred racing here, not just for the horsemen, but as was reflected, promoting the industry and trying to get people to come out. I'm very happy that they embraced joining forces on Adios Day, as they referenced with the TV broadcast. I think it went really well. It added a lot to our product, and hopefully we can continue those things. They referenced a few items that I know are things we've talked about as well. The Wi-Fi is an issue here. It is something that I just want to let everyone know is part of a multitude of infrastructure projects that are in the process of being worked on, along with our phone system, which is somewhat antiquated, we'll say. And those are being done as we speak, but they're long segmented processes. So we hope to soon have definitely better Wi-Fi coverage and actually a better phone system as well. They did reference the sports book, and I thought I would share. Our sports book here is beginning renovations, being transformed over into a Barstool sports book with dining, as well as some access and views to the racetrack as well on the backside of it. I've seen some of the drawings, and they just started banging and jackhammering a little bit today. So more to come on that, I'm sure, as it goes forward. But definitely another element moving ahead. And then I just wanted to reference also the Embers area, which we've been using on our Friday evenings, especially in other days of the week here. Outside fire pit dining bar area, which I think has been very well received. If anyone has gotten a chance to enjoy it, and adding to that atmosphere on the apron and the racing, in conjunction with these evening cards and the different promotions, the pink outs and things like that, has really, really helped, if nothing else, with exposure back to the community, saying we are here, we are an event venue, and we are someplace that you can come out and have a good time and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, any further questions, comments? If not, thanks for the update, thanks for the insight. Appreciate the follow-up there and your points about Wi-Fi and technology, clearly critical, particularly when you look at that, both the report, but also just looking at your graph and the online need, right? That's where people live, so obviously correlation. So thank you for that, and good update, thanks. Okay.
Moving on, the next presentation is the HBPA. I see Todd out here, I see Stu. Would you gentlemen like to come up and make the presentation?
Good afternoon, everyone. Council, commissioners, Mr. Secretary. It's so nice to be here and see everyone. The name is Stu Kirschenbaum. That's S-T-U K-I-R-S-H-E-N D-A-U-M. I'm the owner of Keystone Films.
And Todd Mostoller, T-O-D-E, M-O-S-T-O-L-L-E-R.
I guess I'll start with one of the all-time understatements to say it's been a challenging 12 months, challenging 18 months for sure. Much of our success in the past several years on behalf of the HBPA has been in the marketing and promotion of major race days. The things we've done leading up to Penn Mile Day, leading up to the Presidential Masters over the past several years, were usually successful. We played our small part in helping generate the biggest handle day at Prescott Downs, and the second and third largest handle days at National in the, at this point, close to 50-year history of Penn National. We did this through digital broadcast ad campaigns, significant media coverage, regionally and nationally, as well as by engaging our growing social media audience. As you all know, there was no personnel masters last year or this year. The 2021 Penn Mile, I guess I'd say it was a significantly watered down version of previous years, in no literal sense of the word. And folks, where the weatherman did not cooperate, and it was extremely rainy night, forcing the races off the turf. And basically without major events to promote, our entire focus has been on how best to deliver our core messages, which have really gone unchanged. Number one is that the HBPA believes the health and welfare of the horse and rider comes first above all. Number two, statewide, this industry is a major job creator, supporting small business and creating significant economic impact. Number three, the product that we sell, for lack of a better way to phrase it, is entertainment. We're selling a night out. We're selling an entertainment experience with your family, with your friends, with your buddies. And we can't really decide that that's the product that we're selling in the entertainment business. So, what are the best ways to deliver those messages? What are the delivery method and the delivery methods that are both effective and cost effective? Also important, what preconceptions does our audience have, and is our message resonating? So we've done some market research. We did this for 3 years in a row on behalf of the HBPA. We did not do it this past year for obvious reasons. Much of what we're asking concerns, how often you visit the racetrack, or do you visit the racetrack, there's legal or non-options. So what's here is just prior to the pandemic. Animal welfare, how important is that to you on a scale of 0 to 10? The average response to them is a 9. So this underscores, I guess we already know to be true. People care about animals, people care about horses. They've got to know that the horses are being looked after and are being treated, and safety is a priority, and aftercare, like horses. This next question, so how well do you think racehorses are taken care of in Pennsylvania? We've seen happily improvement in this number year over year. And essentially we're also finding there's a lot more people who feel that horses are, or believe horses are well taken care of, and do not feel that way. There's also a very significant portion of folks who are in the middle. They're neutral, they're undecided. So we have the ability to reach those people that haven't made up their mind. We have the ability to connect with those folks and hopefully get to a point where they believe what we know to be true in terms of when horses are cared for. And these next couple of graphs talk about essentially the perception of racing in Pennsylvania. These have been, I'd say, fairly unchanged from year to year. Essentially what we find here is roughly 25% of people who responded have a favorable opinion. Roughly 25% of people have an unfavorable opinion. And there's this huge swath once again in the middle. There's 50% of people who are undecided in terms of the way they feel about racing the PA, or they feel about, is it in fact a job creator? Does it in fact generate significant economic impact? Your overall view of racing. It's good that there's this, again, this huge group, this huge conglomeration of people who are open or persuaded. And that's certainly what we're going to go after. Certainly the message those folks are in the middle. So what have we done over the past 12 months or so? I'm not going to go over everything, but I'm going to touch on a few things, more or less in chronological order. One thing we decided to take advantage of was election night, 2020, the presidential election. We figured a lot of people's eyes on these ears when we looked back. So we did a deal with ABC 27, which is one of our longtime partners. We created a banner ad that is essentially a roadblock billboard, which sat at the top of the ABC27.com news and weather section. Election day, before election day, the day after election day. It has our banner ad there along with the video, which again we were fortunate to get Dr. Hank Hogan to do several videos for us, and it's Dr. Hogan talking about how well cared for and how we'll look after horses are. We see the number of impressions we got. We also got a click-through rate, which we're very pleased with, because that's more than 4 times above the national average. this type of advertising. You click on the ad, we take you to, indirectly to the HBPA website. In terms of television coverage, we also got a nice bang for a buck there. We got 30-second commercial. The latest reference to ran 12 times on ABC 27, on election night, and regular local news, and cut it 25 after the hour to election coverage. With the Triple Crown back on quote-unquote its normal schedule, the HBPA was again the official presenting sponsor of the Triple Crown on the NBC stations, both in Lancaster and Erie. The graphic there shows you how great ratings were for the Derby in 2021. I think we, as a country, are sort of conditioned on the first Saturday of May, there was going to be a horse race, and a lot of us didn't pay attention to it, a lot of us didn't watch it. That was the case in 2020, and it was against there. So the Kentucky Derby was back in its normal place in the calendar, and the ratings for it were terrific. Now, being the official presenting sponsor, what does that mean? Well, in the case of Channel 8 here, we have 4 30-second commercials in each of the 3 Triple Crown races. NBC Sports also produced promos for each race, which is a huge value-added thing. The 30-second promos, they ran 20 times each week leading up to each of the 3 races. So in that 30 seconds, if that was 20 seconds, that's very professionally, very slickly produced work by NBC Sports. The 5 seconds at the beginning and 5 seconds at the end are specifically promoting live racing international. We also got 5-second billboards on 5, 6, 11 o'clock local news, again, promoting live racing international. We have banner ad placement regionally at NBCSports.com and on WGNL.com, once again driving traffic to the HBPA website. The story in Erie was similar, again, for 30-second spots, but here it was a commercial we produced specifically targeting Prescott and specifically promoting the reopening July 5th at Prescott Downs. Those NBC Sports promos, those billboards as well. But we also got a whole bunch of bonus areas, 9 of them actually. We made 24th and July 4th, all showing a commercial promoting the reopening of the track. And again, some huge value-added benefits there. But of course, what we find, and I guess it's entirely surprising, is the audience for horse racing, people watching horse racing in Pennsylvania tends to skew older. We want to reach our core customer. We want to button up. We want to, foundationally build that relationship with our core customer. That's important. At the same time, we also want to do something that's going to connect with and resonate with a younger demographic. So a couple things we did in that regard with Channel 24, the ABC station, as well as Weird.com. We did the traditional TV commercial that ran June 5th through July 4th, again promoting the July 5th reopening of the track. But they also ran us in a bunch of different venues. One of them was NBA playoff basketball. Digitally, we served ads to over-the-top subscribers, people who have Roku, things like that, which again is a demographic that skews younger. We also served ads as video pre-roll and had 5 weeks of banner ad placement on Erie.com. And all of the above, both in Central PA and in Erie, proved to be both effective and cost-effective. There's a couple of examples on this next page. The over-the-top ads were served in Erie. We served 37,500 ads, 36,500 times people watched the entire ad. We had basically a completion percentage of 97%, which is significantly higher than normal. People were saying, oh, there's horse racing, we can't click, we see what else is on. They sat, they watched it, they engaged our message. 97% completion percentage was, if you're an Eagles fan, this was reminiscent of Derek Hart on Sunday, that's special, suppose. Erie.com, positive results here too. You see the number of impressions we got. The click-through rate here was tremendous. This is more than 8 times the standard, the average click-through rate for this type of advertising. And very pleased with the results there overall. The Pennsylvania Derby last month, we are trying to build our relationship with Channel 8, Channel 27 here, as well as CBS affiliate Channel 21. They presented the PA Derby. So we bought ads on the PA Derby, but we also said, let's see what happens when we do a small over-the-top line. Let's look at one for 2 weeks and see what happens. We had a very nice number of impressions, almost half of them through Roku, and again, a 96% completion rate. So when this younger demographic is seeing our message about horse racing, it's connecting. They're watching it. They're not Xing out, they're not clicking out. They're watching the message to completion, which is what we want to see. I'm also going to touch on social media briefly, as well as the HBPA website which we manage. We've seen significant consistent growth in social media. We have essentially 1,200 followers on Twitter. That's a 14% growth year over year. Facebook, we've seen similar growth, 16% growth year over year. There's a smaller number of Instagram followers, but that represents a 61% growth year over year. As a website, our social platforms, certainly a key part of everything that we did, keep everyone informed and engaged as best we could during the pandemic. Social media was huge. This was last week when on the press aisle, Mary Pino won 7,000 race. Our social media posts got terrific engagement, terrific pickup. We were able to get some nice earned media coverage out of that as well. By leveraging our relationship with TV stations in town and around, did interviews with him, showed the race, showed the horse circle ceremony. So nice benefit there too. So in the end, we eagerly anticipate the return of things such as the match series and things such as the Presnell Masters and things such as the Penn National Holiday Racing Festival. We look forward to a full return to normal when we can again begin to fully implement the brand building, the image enhancement strategies across a variety of platforms that we do for the HBPA. I guess in closing, this is the final thing I'll say is I'm someone who's been around this game pretty much my entire life in some way, shape, or form. And it's not hyperbole that I truly do love this game and care about this game. And I guess my hope is that the messaging that we create, the advertising market that we do, I'd like nothing better than to try to create that same feeling about it, but to try to have people engage with the work out there and hopefully feel that same sort of love for the game and passion for the game that I've had my entire life. So thank you everyone for your time and happy to take any questions.
Todd, any?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Stu, thank you. I mean, a couple points. One, interesting to see the survey responses on health and welfare, right? And we have 3 years of data. It would be good to sort of know what the trend lines look like. 1, 2, and thanks for including that, because I think that's part of this appeal, the social aspects, and tracks for a lot of public concern or perceptions at least. Related to that is who received the survey and how strategic was it? Is that just sort of put it out and you got 600 responses?
620 responses. It wasn't, to be candid, the most rigorous scientific market research that we done was one of the top line kind of survey. We just want a snapshot of how people feel. Give us some sentiment of where you're at. What is your perception of our business? What is your perception of our sport? We did spend a lot of money on it. But I think that's significant value for the money we spent.
And then just reaching back to the MSOA report, they're talking about conversions, right? I'm interested in that. It's a different product what you're doing, but it's a tricky question how many folks are convert over to. Do you have any sense of those who are converting to the tech platform?
It's a tough lift. I mean, it's same thing. It's sort of an apples and oranges type concept of sports bettor knows, sports bettor understands. Well, a whole lot. We're suddenly presenting you with past performance information. We're suddenly saying there's no such thing as, of course, you bet on 3 to 1. Well, okay, now you're getting 7-5 back. You're like, wait a minute, how'd that happen? I bet, the Eagles, I got plus 3.5. I know I'm locked in. So, yeah, I think it's a necessary lift, but a tough lift.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? Commissioners, just look at the screen, around the room. Okay. Yeah, excellent, thank you. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom, let's move to administrative actions.
We have two administrative actions. The first one is, Mr. Chair, we need a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for November, Standardbred tracks, Harris, Mohegan Sun, and the Meadows.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve? Okay, Commissioner Brennheiser on the motion, Commissioner Rogers on the second. Discussion of this motion to approve the simulcast calendars for November 21 for Harris, Mohegan Sun, Poconos, and Meadows. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for November for the Thoroughbred tracks, Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Mounts.
Thank you, John. Do we have a
If I
motion?
move the final for the motion.
Commissioner DeBunda on
Commissioner Lark.
motion and Commissioner Lark on the second. Any discussion of this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion for the simulcast calendars for November 21 for the Thoroughbred tracks, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Presently, we have before the commission the annual license renewals for racing vendors, for tug companies, and for the SPMO company. What I'd like to do, and what we've done for the past couple of years, is I'll read one order into the record, and each motion of the commission will be to incorporate all of those particular racing vendors, and then I'll read a specific order for the tug company as well as one for the SPMO company, so that I'm not reading 14 different orders. If I may, all of these applications have been reviewed by the Director of Licensing as well as Legal Office and the two directors, and we seek approval and recommendation and recommend the approval for all these annual license renewals. To that end, this would be the following order dealing with racing vendors. Thank you. That would be for docket numbers 2021-22 all the way through 31 as listed in the agenda. And now this 26th day of October 2021, pursuant to section 9351B1 of Act 114 of 2016, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above racing vendor, as defined in section 9301 and as determined by the commission, is seeking to renew its license to provide goods and services to a licensed racing entity directly related to racing or the racing product. Pursuant to section 9358, this racing vendor license is valid for a period of 1 year, commencing January 1st, 2022. In accordance with the statutory authority of the Act, the Commission has received and reviewed the submitted renewal information from the racing vendor, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved 2021 license application. The above listed racing vendor and its officers, owners, principals have demonstrated by clear and convincing evidence that they are persons of good character, honesty, and integrity, and are in the best interest of racing pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Act. Therefore, in accordance with the applicable statutory authority, the Commission hereby renews the above petitioner's racing vendor license for the year 2022. And that would be a motion by this Commission.
So moved by Sweeney.
Commissioner Sweeney, thank you. Commissioner Rogers on the second. Discussion of this motion. Did you get a second? I did get a second.
Commissioner Rogers, second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion on this motion to approve the racing vendors. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, next on the agenda is the tote companies. Again, I will read one order for the 3 tote companies as listed in the agenda, starting at docket 2021-33, 34, and 35. And now this 26th day of October 2021, pursuant to section 9351B1 of Act 114 of 2016, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above totalizator entity, as defined in section 9301 and as determined by the Commission, is seeking to renew its license to utilize a computer system used to pool wagers, record sales, calculate payoffs, and display wagering data on a display device that is located at a pari-mutuel racetrack facility or non-primary location. Pursuant to section 9358, this tote license is valid for a period of 1 year, commencing January 1st, 2022. In accordance with the statutory authority of the Act, the Commission has received and reviewed the submitted renewal information from the tote entity, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved 2021 license application. The above listed tote entity and its owner, officers, principals have demonstrated by clear and convincing evidence that they are persons of good character, honesty, and integrity, and are in the best interest of racing pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Act. Therefore, in accordance with the applicable statutory authority, the Commission hereby renews the above petitioner's tote license for the year 2022, and that would be in the form of an order.
Motion. Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve the tote companies.
Commissioner Ellis, so moved.
Mr. Ellis, thank you. Is there a second? Great, thank you. We've got a motion and a second. Discussion on this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, we have the SPMO company order. And again, this applies to docket number 2021-37. And now this 26th day of October 2021, in accordance with sections 9322 and 9351B2 of Act 114 of 2016, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above applicant is seeking to renew its secondary pari-mutuel racing organization, SPMO license, as defined in section 9301 of the Racing Act, to conduct advanced deposit wagering in Pennsylvania. Pursuant to section 9358, this SPMO license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2022. In accordance with the statutory authority of the Act, the Commission has received and reviewed the properly submitted renewal application by the SPMO, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved 2021 application. The above listed SPMO and its owners, officers, principals have demonstrated by clear and convincing evidence that they are persons of good character, honesty, and integrity, and are in the best interest of racing pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Act. Therefore, the Commission hereby renews the above applicant's SPMO license to conduct advanced deposit wagering in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the year 2022. And that would be in the form of a motion.
Thank you, George. We have a motion to approve the SPMO companies.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Commissioner Lark, thank you. Motion, we have a second. Commissioner Brenizer on the second, thank you. Discussion of the motion. Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the SPMO companies, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, George. Tony?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the industry reports, why don't we start off with Scott Lisha from the Meadows. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Salerno. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the Commission. My name is Scott Lisha, again, L-I-S-H-I-A. At our meeting last month, I was forced to leave early. We had an unfortunate accident on the racetrack, and just wanted to give you a brief update. That incident happened. Horses were fine, but the 2 drivers did both sustain injuries. Mr. Dodson has had his medical procedures. He's recovering and expecting to go into start rehabilitation within the next few weeks. Chris Shaw had some more extensive injuries, is now currently out of the hospital. He is recovering well. He's got probably several months of recovery and more procedures and then rehabilitation to follow, but in very good spirits and has every intention of coming back to driving. I did speak to both gentlemen and made sure they were fine, but I wanted to update everyone on them. As for Earth Meadows, obviously mentioned earlier, we have a new name. We are Hollywood Casino at the Meadows. Went through the rebranding. It was a very good weekend. We have been enjoying some very nice weather for this time of year, although today is not so nice. And hopefully continue with good racing and maybe some bigger field size as we move forward into November and December. We are in the process of working on our plans for next year, and hopefully we'll kick off 2022 in a very strong fashion. Other than that, not a whole lot more to report. I did touch on some of the construction work that is going on, just started this week with the sports book, and hopefully more things like that to follow. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Scott, for the update. How about Mike Zollinger from Pocono? Mike, are you on?
I am here. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Commissioners. I just wanted to start off as we can begin to conclude our racing season. We have the rest of today, and Saturday will be our last day this year. I would like to thank everybody, from the Commissioners to the PHHA, Tony, for making my first year here at Mohegan Sun Pocono a very easy one, as I am new kind of to the live product here. So everybody has been great, and I appreciate that, which has made my job much easier. So as we conclude the season, our live racing handle for this year is actually, as compared to 2019, I kind of put on 2020 out the window, but we're about 52.1 million in live handle this year versus 45.6 million in 2019, which is about a 14.43% increase. So I'm very proud of that for this year. As well, we've only had one or two minor instances, with crashes this year. Only one horse had to be euthanized, unfortunately. So all in all, I think this was a very good year. And like I say, I just want to thank everybody for their help, and I look forward to a even better 2022. That's all I have.
Thanks, Mike, and I'd just like to say, too, on the behalf of the commission, that you have been a pleasure to work with all year, and you could have fooled me that you were a newcomer to this, because you hit from day one. You've been very helpful for us to the commission, very cooperative, and I appreciate the relationship that we have with you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Tony.
How about Barry Brown from Harris? Barry?
Yep, thank you, Tony. Barry Brown, BROWN, from Harris, Philadelphia. So we still have 2 months left in our season. We race until December 26th, and we are adding Wednesdays back. We've raced the last 5 weeks on a 3-day week schedule. Effective tomorrow, we go back to our 4-day week schedule for the balance of the season, and hopefully with Pocono closing, we'll pick up some horse population from them. We are on target to have a record season here at Harris, Philadelphia, and I'm looking back at numbers from 11 years ago when we set the all-time record for this racetrack, and we are on target to beat the total handle of over $80 million for this year. We stay on the same pace that we're on right now, so obviously I'll be able to report on that in a couple months. And looking forward to the last couple months of the season. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Let's go to Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Tony. Nothing new to report this month. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe. I see Eric's here in the audience.
Joe, this is Sal DeBunda. Can you hear me? Yes. I just want you to point out, I don't know if Ashley's online or not, but the work she's done with Mrs. Chapman, I think if you did you did tell her the extensive work she's done with respect to that collection, I think the commission would be very pleased. Yeah, so we went to Mrs. Chapman's house a couple weeks ago with myself, Rich Romano, Commissioner DeBunda, and Ashley Eisenberg from the HBPA. And Pat had quite the extensive collection of, not just the Smarty Jones stuff, the majority of it certainly was, but lots of other stuff, lots of trophies and memorabilia and whatnot. And, we thought we were walking into, walk through and be done in 10 minutes, and it turned out not to be that. In fact, Ashley was there most of the day and pretty much cataloged everything that was in there, pictures of everything, sent us all, a catalog with all the items, descriptions, everything else. So I just want to thank her. She did a great job, and we're looking forward to this project quite a bit. So. I want to chime in also that she just did a terrific job, and the enthusiasm and the energy she brought to this endeavor has been very terrific. So, yep. Ashley, if you're online, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have a question for Joe. It's Commissioner Jones. I see recently a new product that Sal Sinatra has created at Equibase, which is a new chart that they developed, which looks pretty exciting. And it had a list of the tracks that were using it, and Arch was not among them. And I wondered whether that was an oversight or whether that's something you're working on, or I'd like to know what your comments are on that.
Commissioner, can you elaborate a little more? Are you talking about the GPS timing system?
Yes.
Okay, so we were actually have been working with Trackus. So the Equibase timing system, the GPS system, they are not. It's basically technology agnostic. So different hardware applications could be used in that. So we volunteered to be a development site for Trackus for their version of this that could have been incorporated into Equibase. And basically after about 15 months, it still wasn't done. So, and again, I would refer you to Equibase, and I would also refer you to some of the other people in the industry, like a Randy Moss or a Dick Girardi. But there are questions on that GPS timing. And I know what Sal is looking at. Sal is looking at like a hybrid model of GPS timing where they would use the hardwired start and finish for the start and finish times, and then everything in between would be GPS and would be able to generate these different charts. So I guess my short answer is I don't think it's done yet, and that would be a reason why I wouldn't have it.
Okay, is this a group of trucks, including Penn National, that are using it, and the inconsistency there is hard to explain?
Maybe Eric would like to elaborate on that.
Okay, Eric.
Eric Johnson, Director of Racing Operations for Penn National, JOHNSTON. I want to give an opportunity for Chris McElwain. I believe he's on the line. He is much more involved with Equibase and the TRA, so I'm going to see if he wants to chime in before I make any comments. Chris, are you available there?
It looks like a boomerang, I think it's coming back at you. Yeah, it's all yours.
You're on. We are working with Equibase at currently using the satellite tracking system at Penn National. We installed it about 18 months ago. It seems some development challenges. The accuracy still has some tweaking to be done. But as a whole, there are some great opportunities for it. We were taken on basically as a pilot project, us and Laurel had it for a little while, and it was out at, I believe they're still using it out in California at Golden Gate, but it was a pilot project through a cooperation between the TRA and Equibase. So some things need to be addressed with it, and they continue to improve it. We went from having one tracker in each saddle tail down to 2 tracking devices in each. That seems to have really cleaned up a lot of stuff, but there's still some work to be done on it. It's not, I should say it's not, it is a work in progress, and we continue to work with them to fine tune it, and hopefully sometime here in the spring we'll see some vast improvements.
Can we put that on, that there's something we should follow?
Yeah, I think it's very worthwhile to follow. I think there's some great opportunity with it. It'll give smaller tracks the opportunity to have the tracker's chiclet effect on their graphics with reasonable accuracy, and will make for good image. If you've ever watched the trackers race, they're not perfect. I mean, you've seen them get dumped off of the Kentucky Derby feedback in the spring. You've seen them get dumped off of the Breeders' Cup in the past, simply because, you know, everything has to come together at one time. But no, it's definitely something that needs to continue. The standard starting points are going to be a huge improvement for it, and it's just a matter of catching the fractions in between that's going to need some fine tuning.
Thank you.
And which actually segues into one of the comments I was going to make in our report. We do have our new video board is up and running. It's got a great image on it. It took us a little over 20 months to get completed. COVID certainly put the brakes on it for us. But it was well worth the struggle. And we're actually in the process of reworking our graphics package to take and fill out that board with a full image. You'll see that being debuted sometime probably in January or February. We're currently looking to do that. And we will incorporate into those some of that GPS timing module stuff. Not necessarily the bouncing chicklets like you would see on a Trackus type format, but just a static order of running order bar and some other elements of it. Any questions? Well, I said more than I needed to. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. How about Matt? Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt, you on?
Yes, I am. His name is Matthew Ennis, M-A-T-T-H-E-W, last name E-N-N-I-S. Here at Presque Isle, we wrapped up our 2021 season last week, racing 60 days. Very successful meet. Welcomed spectators back, had fun this year in having food trucks and a couple of fun races during the meet where we drew the local crowds for something called a Monster Dash. And we also dressed up our team members as T-Rexes, and just an overall success and fun for the Erie community. Again, 60 race days. We extended that with the Commission's approval from 52 to release some more purse money to the horsemen. They were very pleased, as was Todd, to do so. Our handle for this season was approximately $40 million compared to 2019 of 37 million, so an increase in export handle of about 9%. And our live on-site handle was up compared to 19. Again, we're ignoring 2020, was up 2%. So that, along with our average number of starters per race in 2021 compared to 2019, we were up 7%. So a good reason why our handle was up year over year as well. So a good end to the meet. We're closing our backside this Thursday with the horsemen leaving our property by noon. And finally, to report to the commission, this year at Prescott, we had no breakdowns. So a tribute to our Tapeta surface and working with the horsemen, HBPA, very proud to conclude our 2021 season with no reportable breakdowns for the horses. So just an amazing feat for us, very proud of that. That's all I have.
Thanks, Matt. That is a good feat, and you should be proud of it. So, Sam, you're here in the room. You have anything?
No report.
No report. Kim Hankins. Kim, you on?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Kim Hankins, KIMHANKINS. I just wanted to give a brief congratulations to Donnell and to Jen Neely and our marketing partner, the Meadows, for the outstanding crowd that we had on Pink Out Night. It was great to expose people with the corgi races and the Pink Out portion of it to large crowds. Also to generate a sizable donation from the activities that the MSOA did, as well as the Meadows, to the American Cancer Society. So I just wanted to congratulate them and look forward to working with everybody in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. I'd just like to say one thing, too, about the MSOA. I know you guys did a job cart raffle, and you raised, I think, over $30,000 for the drivers that were injured. And I think that was a really good cause on your guys' behalf, and thanks to everyone who donated to that cause.
Thank you, and we also have you'll see online on our Facebook pages and stuff, we have a Night at the Races, which is a simulated race card that you can bet on horses, you can aim horses, things of that nature, and all of the proceeds will be going to Chris Shaw, who is obviously more devastatingly injured than Mr. Dotson. But yeah, we're proud of our community here for jumping in and trying to help injured drivers.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. How about Mike Belizzi? Mike, are you on?
Yeah, no report, Tony. Thank you.
Okay, Mike. Todd, you have anything?
Matt and Eric kind of stole my thunder for what I was going to report, but I did want to reiterate what Matt said in regards to the catastrophic breakdowns. That is 0 for both racing and training. It's a testament to the horsemen. It's a testament to the vets. It's a testament to the racetrack management, the HBPA decision that we made in conjunction with management back in 2007 to install that service, and it's a testament to the service. I can't tell you how proud I am, and I'd like to thank everybody that was involved with me. And I don't, when you say realistic to do it again next year, we're going to make every effort, but we all know this is an athletic event, and unfortunately some of those things happen, but it's the first major meet that I'm aware of a considerable length of 60 days that is accomplished. So it's something that is we're very proud of, and I'd like to thank all those individuals.
As you should be. I would say that is quite an accomplishment. I wish we could do that throughout the state, and we're working at it. So move on to the breeders. Jim or Mike Simpson, are you on? Jim or Mike? Yeah, I'm sure they're busy getting ready for this. Okay. And then Brian, I don't know, is Brian on? No, Brian's on vacation or out of town. That's it for the industry reports, and at this time there was no public comment. Go ahead, Commissioner Bennett.
We don't hear much about the Standardbred fairs, but I followed most of them this season, and I'd like to thank a couple of people who put a lot of effort into making it all possible. I'd like to thank Lisa Dunn, Todd Shadle, and Sam Beagle. They do a magnificent job keeping the fairs going. It was gratifying to see a lot of the people show up at the fairs to watch the races. They really enjoy it, and I think they come back year after year to watch the races. I'd like to thank the Meadows. I was at the final. I'd like to thank the Meadows for putting on an excellent afternoon of fair racing. The other thing that was really gratifying, I saw a lot of young people who are involved in the business. At the Meadows, they had a young fellow out there, I'm not sure how old he was, but he announced several of the races. Some of the young people who were also entering into the training of these horses for the fairs. It's just good to see a newer generation getting involved in our sport. So, like I said, it was really gratifying to follow the fair racing this year. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Daryl. I would have to say that anybody who participated in the fairs this year, especially after last year, would have to say it was a success. I mean, we had 20 fairs this year. I think we ended up losing 7 or 8 race dates due to the weather. But it was, other than that, I think everybody in the PHRA, they did a great job streaming the races. You know, but the backbone of the fairs is definitely Lisa Dunn, Sam Beagle, and Todd Shadle. They put a lot of effort and time into getting the fairs organized and pulled off. So thanks to them. At this time, there was no public comment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Jen, thank you. A couple of points. One, we will send best wishes from the commission to Mr. Shaw and Mr. Dotson. Right? Yeah. Commission to just a note of thanks to Ed Ashland and Pascal Dow as well as Zero Break House. Congratulations to you. Thank you. The Standardbred sale coming up, right? 83rd year. I think 81 of those at the Fox Show Complex. The longest serving and cooperative effort between the show promoter and the Fox Show Complex. Missed last year and then during World War II. So,
Yeah.
It's next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Starts Monday.
Yeah. Great, thank you. All right, no public comments. George, I'll look to you on the notice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In accordance with the Commission's regulations, the Commission provides notice that it has received the annual racing vendor renewal form from American Teletimer for review. Persons interested in intervening in the above matter may file an appropriate petition to intervene with the Commission within 30 days of this notice. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. The next meeting, November 30th at 1 o'clock. So we'll look forward to that. Thank you all. Be safe in between. We'll hold Thanksgiving as well. We have a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Saint. Saint, all of you.
Thank you.